Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Lenny's Fishing. So today I've come back through the tunnel, back up to Seaton Sluice, and I'm going to be doing it a little bit backwards this time. So I'm going to be fishing up the high water, and then later on I might go onto a low water mark. So I'm just getting set up and put my gloves on, which I know everyone loves. For the people that don't know, the reason behind wearing these isn't because I'm frightened to touch fish. It's simply because I'm allergic to fish, believe it or not. So yeah, allergic to fish, tackle shop owner, but I haven't always been allergic to fish. It was something that I developed when I turned about 18 or 19, I think. I used to work in a fishmonger's when I just left school, and after I'd been there for a couple of years, I had some really horrible symptoms. Bad dermatitis, hands were rotting away and full of rashes, and on the last time that I ate fish, my mouth was really itchy, so I got away from all that. And when I was about 21, I was quite curious to see if I was right or wrong, so I went to the doctors and had a bloods test, and yeah, came back confirmed allergic to fish and crustaceans. So it's not a severe allergy, it's just a mild allergy, but I just wear the gloves because it stops my hands from getting irritated and keeps us safe as well. So yeah, gloves on, got a chest cam now as well, so you'll be able to get a POV footage. So the aim of the game today again is to keep trying for that better codling, which I've been trying for a few weeks now, and every time we seem to be getting codlings, there seem to be anything from sort of undersize to on average about £1.50, with the best one being around sort of two pound. So hopefully today's the day that I can winkle a better size one out. Conditions are perfect, flat calm, gin clear. The only thing is the tides are medium, but they are making tides, so fingers crossed that gives you a better shot at the elusive bigger codling. So I'm going to get my first rig out, get that baited up, get it cast out, and then once I'm all sorted and settled, I'll bring you back and we'll go through a few things. So I thought I'd utilise the point of view camera just to go through what I'm doing. So I've got my poly rig, again with a single hook. It's a 3.0 for the time of year, but these are wide gape 3.0s, so they're a little bit bigger than your standard 3.0. Yeah, I got a rig body of around 2.5 foot and the hook snood about 2.25. £30 rotten bottom, Trident aero pulley, which is my go-to pulley system. Absolutely love it. Figure of 8 there on the top, which gives you a little bit of resistance, which I find hooks fish better. And we'll get down to business. So today's bait, these gold dust. Everyone is after them, and fortunately enough for me, I've looked after these ones for about 2 weeks now, and these are the last of what I have. Obviously there's a few frozen ones in there mixed in with the fresh. Once these are gone, I'm out of fresh crab, so I'll be in the same boat as most of you guys until I get some more, hopefully anyway. And then once the crab is being peeled to bits, I'll bring you back and show you how we're going to apply it to the hook. I'm going to start off with a full crab and see what happens. There you go, that's peeled. I bet you've never seen anyone peel a crab that quick before. So usual trick, I nick it through the corner of the crab like that. I place it onto the back of the hook, and then I get me twin bait needle. Where have I put it? I use that to place on the back of the hook, like so. And then I get me elastic and I begin wrapping on. And if I'm not happy with the placement, say I want that crab a little bit further up, before I start wrapping too much elastic on, I'll just move the position of that. That looks perfect. I'm going to gently wind the elastic on around the crab up the top of the hook, because I don't want to squeeze all the juices out. And then towards the bottom of the hook, this is where I'm going to apply quite a lot of elastic, and I'm going to wind it a little bit tighter down there. That seems pretty sturdy. Looks good. And then you can just pop it off like that. And that's ready to go down. Let's get it out there. Right, so that's done, baited up, clipped down, ready for the first cast, which I'm going to start with an overhead thump. And we'll suss out whether there's any fish here a little bit closer in before we start lamping it. So that'll do for the first chuck, maybe about 70 yards. And hopefully, fingers crossed, today's the day for one a little bit better. Ideally, something around the 4 pound mark. Now, that might be asking a lot, but I've had plenty of them this time of year, so there's no reason why there's not a chance. But if we get a couple of sized fish and it gives me a bit of sport, as always, I'm happy just to be out chatting shit and hoping that you guys are entertained watching, and you might pick up 1 or 2 tips as well along the way. So back to the same mark that I finished on the last video. Apologies that the marks at the minute are pretty samey, but I'm just going with me Bankers local because I'm not travelling too far at the minute, and obviously it's high tide, so I'm limited, and I didn't want to fish down Marsden area, so I jumped in the van and came through the tunnel. So I'm going to fish up to high water on here. Usually, from my experience, if you haven't had fish up to high water on this mark, then there's not going to be any fish there on the ebb tide, so I'll probably move. The problem that I've got is there's going to be a period in between moving here and trying to access a low water mark, and that period of time is going to be around 3 hours. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. I might try and find another high water mark somewhere else and fish for about 2 hours, have a little break, have something to eat, and then jump on a low water mark. Or I might just fish up until high water here, and if I get a few fish out, I'll probably call it a day and get home nice and early, because why not, if I've had me fix. So whilst it's early doors in the session, first chuck, and we're just waiting to see what happens, I just want to say a special thanks to everyone who's been watching the videos and shown some support. It's really appreciated. I'm really enjoying doing it, and I hope that the information that I give out on the videos is becoming useful to some people. And I hope this can all have a good laugh at some of the shite crack that I've got as well. I put a post on Facebook saying thank you and just explaining a little bit about my background and journey. So when you come onto the channel and watch the videos, it's all going to be about sea fishing. I have dabbled in fly fishing in the past. I've done a bit pike fishing, I've done a bit coarse fishing, but my niche is definitely the sea fishing, especially on the rocks, fishing for the cod and the kelp. So a few little nibbles there on the first chuck, which looks very much like lobster bites. Little vibrations through the braid that are just vibrating the rod tip just that little bit. I think that was a, no, that's a better bite. Thought it was a bird that had ran into me braid there. Maybe it wasn't a lobster, maybe it was a small collie or something. Wasting me time with the sunnies on, aren't I? Because it's not even sunny. So I'll get them off. They'll come back on if the sun pops out. Still tapping away there, just ever so slightly. So whilst that taps away, I'm going to sit me lazy ass down. I'm going to chill out for 10 minutes, get my second rig sorted, get another bait on, and get into the swing of things. Just had a little bit of a bite there. See if it progresses. Yeah, that's a small codlin by the looks of things. This is horrible. Hundreds of flies everywhere. I must smell like shite. Either that or they've been attracted from us talking shite. Oh. I need a fly net. Right, here we go, one more bite. And I'll pull his lips off. Good start. Second chuck, getting a fish. These flies are driving us insane. Maybe if you just stop talking shit, Lenny, then the flies might go away. Right, well, I'm pleased to get the blank out of the way, second chuck. It's only small, like. I have to try and guide it over here where the water meets the bottom of the cliff. Oh, no. Small codlin, as expected, judging by the bite. Just lip hooked as well, so for anyone that missed on the last video how I go about returning fish from up a height, then you're about to find out. So there's Mr. Codlin. So I'm just going to place the grip wire gently through its gill plate, like so, and then I can just lower him back over the cliff, and when he hits the water, the buoyancy of the fish will lift it away from the gripper wire. Job done. Right, on to the third chuck. Hopefully they keep getting bigger. Right, that's been out about 20 minutes now. So, still tapping away. Not too sure that's a small fish or whether that's a lobster stripping the bait. We'll get it in and have a change of bait, and I think next chuck we'll whack it out. See if we can get any better fish or better bites a little bit further out. Pick up a bit more tie pull as well. Not too sure what happened there. There's nothing on. I think I've lost my lead. So, tip for you is, don't make the mistake I've just made. Pull the lead out of my box with an old rotten bottom on it, and obviously the line that's on the rotten bottom is weakened with it being used in the past and then left in the box. So that 30-pound amnesia there just snapped as if it was like £3 breaking strain or something. So that was a lead that I've just lost unnecessarily. So there you go. Don't take a leaf out of my book. Make sure that if you're fishing heavy ground, when you're putting rotten bottoms on, you tie fresh ones if they've been sat in your box for a while, because they're obviously weaken with the saltwater corrosion that's on the line. So once time goes on and I sort of settle into doing the YouTubing and stuff on a regular basis, I will add more variation into my videos. It's just at the minute I'm keeping it basic because it's all new. Finding me feet with doing this and doing that, running 2 cameras at the same time, trying to do edits, picking marks where it's not going to be crowded with loads of people that might distract us from focusing on the camera. But once I've settled into it and I've become more comfortable with just doing it like clockwork, we will travel different places, target different species of fish. But it will still mainly be cod fishing because I am cod daft, which I think majority of the lads in the northeast. Not all, by the way, because some lads like fishing for bass and flounders and skate and all the rest of it, but the majority of the lads from the northeast of England are cod daft. And it's easy to see why, in my opinion. It's not because of the particular fight that the cod gives you. I think it's the challenge that comes with fishing for cod. So, you know, if you spent the same amount of hours that you spend cod fishing in the northeast, travelling to fish for smoothhounds or thornback rays, it's a fact that you'll catch more fish, because smoothhounds and thornbacks aren't as challenging to catch as cod are on the northeast coast, and presumably that's because smoothhounds and thornback rays haven't got a shortage on the stocks. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there isn't a shortage of smoothhounds and thornback rays. Get yourself over to Balcarry or Silloth or Maryport or Whitehaven for the thornbacks, and you get the odd hound there. Or get yourself down to Skegness or down Hull or over to Morecambe when the hounds are there. And I'm pretty sure if you have a good day on them that you'll not disagree. When they're there in numbers most of the time. Don't get us wrong, you can have trips where you travel all the way over there, spend all that time travelling, all that time fishing, and you don't catch one. It's happened to me many a times. But it happens more when you're cod fishing, without a shadow of a doubt. So anyway, maybe I'm just psychotic. I love the challenge. I love the fact that I could be stood on here for the next 3 hours and catch fuck all. That's the anticipation for me. Because I also could stand on here and get a lovely big massive red cod or a nice wrasse, or I could get a load of small fish to give us a little bit of sport, but it's the unknown that keeps you going. That's the difference. So I got asked a question the other day, and that question was, is it not a bit of an anticlimax fishing in the northeast of England when you've been to Norway? And basically, the answer that I gave to that question is, yeah, absolutely 100%. I would be lying if I didn't say that coming back from Norway and fishing on this coastline isn't an anticlimax, because it is. But what you've got to remember is it's not all about the big fish and the big numbers. So that's what I says to the guy. I says, look, it's not all about big fish and big numbers of fish. Sometimes you've just got to remember why you started fishing in the first place. And you certainly didn't start fishing in the first place to go and catch humongous fish and loads of numbers of fish, because it hasn't been that way for many years now. It's just about getting out, trying, back to that thing that was just going on about a minute ago, the challenge, and enjoying the fresh air, relaxing, focusing your mind on something other than daily life, whether it be work, kids, relationships, financial problems, anything at all that goes on in your daily life. I feel that fishing is the only way that I can switch off from it all completely. And it doesn't matter how shite the fishing is or how good the fishing is, I still enjoy it. As much as I love going to Norway, catching big fish, catching some good numbers of fish, I'll always enjoy fishing on the local doorstep, doing what I've been doing since I was a kid. It's just built into us, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So anyway, enough of the chattering on. I'm going to kick back, relax, and I'll bring you lot back when the action begins. Here we go, cast number 3. I'm going to chuck this one a bit more to the right. Switch things up a little bit. Overhead thump it as well. And see if that brings anything. It's good to just change the area that you're casting in. Covers more ground, rather than casting in the same spot over and over again. Have we got anyone that knows much about flies? Is it like breeding season or something, mating season. Because they all seem to be like, well, without sounding rude, they all seem to be hanging out the back of each other, like. They're all mounting each other on the back. Sometimes it's like 3 of them stuck together. You know what I mean? Getting a bit greedy in that, because one's not enough. Biting straight away again there. So I'll apologise in advance if I'm slapping the back of my neck, jumping and that throughout the video. I haven't got a mad random tick. It's just I'm basically being eaten alive. Maybe it's like the banquet before the mating session. I know what we'll do. We'll land on Lenny, get ourselves all riled up, and then we'll all jump on top of each other and fly around in that. God. This one's been topping away again. Still going, small bite. I'm going to whip it in anyway. Next chuck I'm going to chuck a bit further out again. So the 2 chucks that I've chucked short have just had small bites. And the 1 chuck that I did put out a little bit further was the one that I got the codling on, so let's see if there's anything there lying on here. No, nothing. So it definitely looks like it's been getting This is just fucking mental. Yeah, so that's been chewed to bits by something small. So 4th chuck is going out, as they say. So unclip that off, pull this one off the tripod, that's baited up ready. And that just gets clipped straight into the fast link. And that one's ready to go out. Double quick. So off up the hill I go to do some super duper messy casting. Oh God, there's a bloody wasp on the camera screen now as well. Hey, I tell you what it is, it's relentless, this like. It's relentless, this like. It's actually almost unbearable. Never seen anything like it, honest. I wouldn't survive very long in the jungle, would I? Right, that's a 4th chuck out. Feeling confident with this one. Don't know why. You only just got that little feeling that this one might be the one. Then again, like, it might not be, yeah. You've got to be hopeful though. This one's the one. Quite an erratic bite, this. Bit of a strange one, that. Yeah, I'll sit down and see if it comes back, Right. Sun's come back out, so I've got the sunnies back on. And this has never stopped rattling away, so let's see if it's just playing or not. Oh, well, that's well stuck. I'm gonna have to go for the break with this one, like. Don't think I've got no fish. Probably got a straight hook. I think what I'll do is I'll probably have 2 more chucks. If both chucks are the same as the previous, if it doesn't look like it's going to produce anything worth staying for, then I'm going to save me bait and definitely move to a different mark. This is the only problem when you're on rations of crab, you know. You've got to be dead careful with how you utilise that, like. But I will not give up, I'll keep trying. A little bit of a better bite. I'm just going to put it down. I knew that would happen as soon as I put it in the tripod, like. As soon as you pick it up, nothing. As soon as you put it back down, it'll bite. Well, that bite stopped, so I'm presuming there's no bait left on the hook. This is the 6th chuck. I'm going to get it in and I'll have 1 more try and then we'll go for our plan B. See if there's anything there. I doubt it. Nah, it's stuck. I reckon there's been a lobster plucking at it and it's pulled us into a snag. I've moved something. Could it be a small fish lying on? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Another small codlin there just lying on it was, so crazy little bites for a fish, like. This one looks to be maybe just sized. Yeah, EV sized. He's going back anyway, like. Well, maybe it's not over yet. So that's him on top of the box, so that's well over 35 centimetres, so it's legal size, but we're slipping back. Right species, wrong size. Probably just touching over legal size, I'd say about 36 centimetres maybe. He's going back alive. He was hooked just in the lip, so I'll get him straight back. On the end of me gripper wire. Right. Oh well. He went in the end, he tried a couple of times and floated back to the surface, and then eventually he just kicked his tail and off he went, so nice. So there we go, size codlin. Still not the size that we're looking for, like. We'll have another chuck and see what it brings, and then we'll make a decision on what's going to happen. So I'll tell you where I'm at in my head. That is a massive, juicy, big fat crab bait. I'm thinking if I have this chuck and I'm lucky enough to somehow pull out a fish over £3, then I'll probably stay for the rest of the session on this mark, because there won't really be much point in moving, because that'll be mission accomplished. and just stick it out for the rest of the session here. If on the next chuck I don't get a bite or it comes back stripped, then we'll be moving. So let's find out and see what happens. Little topic of conversation I want to touch on. Is that a bite there? Someone asked us the other day if I'm going to be giving away my exact location on my YouTube videos, and the straight answer is no, but obviously I'm giving a rough idea of where I am, and if anyone needs any information or advice on certain marks, I'm happy to help. If you come to me and ask us how to fish a certain mark, I'm more than willing to tell you how to fish it. Or if you come to me and ask us for any ideas on marks to fish, again, I'm happy to point you in the right direction to some decent marks. But what I won't be doing is when people are commenting and saying, where are you? I'll give you the area. So it'll either be, I don't know, north of the Tyne, Northumberland, Seaton Sluice area, for example. But I'm not going to pinpoint the exact location that I'm fishing. I think that's fair enough. The last thing I need is when I come down to do a video next time on a certain mark, if I'm giving away the exact spot, is for 400 people to be chasing the fish that I might have potentially caught there on a YouTube video. And then when I go down, I kind of get on the spot. So personally, I think one of the biggest parts of fishing and enjoying fishing is to do the legwork and learn your own marks. Not necessarily saying I've learned all of my own marks, but if I get wind of an area that's producing, then I'll go and fish that area and try and learn it and work it out for myself, rather than messaging people and asking them basically where to park, how to get on the mark, where to cast, what to do, etc. I think it takes it out of it. So yeah, as I say, anyone needs any sort of information in that, I'm more than happy to help. That's what I do as a job. I work in a tackle shop. I own a tackle shop, shall I say. So I'm there to help people catch fish. It's as simple as that. But I'm not going to spoil my own fun and everyone else's fun by pinpointing the exact location where I am. As I say, you'll either agree or you'll agree to disagree. It's as simple as that. But hopefully everyone understands the point I'm getting at, and I just wanted to clear the air with that topic. So this is still the last chuck. I've had a couple of little nibbles, but it definitely looks like we'll be moving after this chuck. I've made a decision in my head. I'm going to pull this in a minute because it's been tapping away like that, and I think it's definitely hooked, but it's small again, I presume. And then I'm going to go to another shot, fish for about an hour or so with the lures, just to see if there's any pollock on this certain mark that I've been thinking about trying for the pollock for a while. And then as the tide ebbs out a little bit more, I've saved the rest of my crab. I've probably got enough for about 6 chucks. I'm going to go to the surprise mark and see if I can get a better codling out of there, or a bass, or a pollock. Who knows? So I'll quickly whip this in now, see if it's lying on. Well, it did come a little bit there. Try and ease it out. Yeah, and there's nothing on there. So that's it. I'm going to pack my stuff away, get back to the cod bus, have something to eat, and then I'm going to move. I might chill in the van for half an hour or so, let the tide ebb off a bit, and then we'll have a go with the lure rod for an hour and see what happens with that. So stay tuned, I'll be right back. So guys, welcome to the cod bus. This is the cod bus, and that is the back of the cod bus. Don't know what you can quite make out there, but I use the van as a works van, and it's got a camp bed in the back, so if ever I want to go away, I can get my head down for the night. So yeah, I am just having a sarnie. This is a chicken and red pesto bagel that my good lady made for us, and I'm going to scran this, and then I'm going to move along further down the coast and go and see if I can jump on a rock for a little bit. I've got one lure in my seat box, and I've got my H2O Nebula rod and H2O Nebula 4000 size reel. So I've got a 28 gram fish black minnow, weedless, so hopefully I don't lose it first chuck, otherwise I certainly won't be spinning for an hour. But I'm just going to go and mix it up and fill in the time between tides, why not? Something to do, isn't it? You never know what's going to happen, so I'll jaunt along there once I've had this, and then we'll set the cameras back up and crack on with some fishing. So I got distracted on the way when I seen a sign for Mr. Whippy. Thought I'll pull in. I'm absolutely sweating, get myself an ice cream. So I goes for the chocolate sundae. It's the worst tasting chocolate sauce I've ever had in my life. It's like the cheapest, shittest chocolate sauce. Never mind. It's an ice cream, innit? Right, so here we go. 28 gram fish black minnow. I've never ever lure fished on this mark before, so this will be new for me. But there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And that's to go and try it. Yeah, we'll start to find out if there's any fish there or not. Like I say guys, this is just to fill in the time between high water and low water. Because why not? There's nothing else to do. There'll be too much water on my low water mark, so right, that's it, done. Jump back in the cod bus and move to the next location and get the bait rods back out. Come on! That's enough of the lure fishing. I've wasted 45 minutes, which I'm not bothered because I had time to waste. So I'm going to get back into the cod bus and we're going to move to the surprise mark and get the bait rods back out. So stay tuned and I'll bring you back when we get there. Right guys, welcome back to the surprise mark. Hopefully today, no surprises, just expectations, because the conditions are absolutely perfect for it. It's pretty much as flat as it gets. There's a tiny little bit of surf, but other than that, it doesn't get much flatter, and the water's gin clear as well, which is good. So it's 3 hours before low water at the minute, and I've never ever fished this mark this early on in the tide. So it looks a little bit foreign because the usual rocks and stuff that are exposed out of the water aren't shown. So I'm having to fish a little bit further back, and where I usually like to cast towards, there's a pot buoy as well, probably about 60 yards away from the end of the rocks, which isn't ideal. So I'm going to have to chuck a little bit to the left or straight ahead. But we'll work around it. I'm going to fish for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how fast it gets dusk, because I haven't got a headlight and, well, I've been out a good few hours now. So I've started over there at Seaton Sluice. I've had 2 codlins, one under size and one just on size. Then on my way to this mark, I've stopped off on a shot and I've had a couple of chucks with the lures to see if there's any pollock or even any bass about, but a couple of small takes which I think are probably tiny little coolies, but aside from that, nothing on the lure. So I give it 45 minutes on there, then I've bombed along here. I've sat in the van for another half an hour or so just doing bits and bobs on my phone whilst I wait for this tide to drop back. But I'm here now. I've got enough bait for about 6 or 7 chucks, so hopefully I can get through it and hopefully we can put a fish in front of the camera for you. So that's the first bait prepped, ready to chuck out. And for those that were wondering what I mean when I say surprise mark, the only reason I'm calling it that is because on the past 2 videos that I've done, I've came here and both times I've had a bit of a surprise with certain species of fish. So on one video I had a pollock, which I didn't expect to catch here because it's really shallow. And on the second video, I ended up with a bass on the bait, which again I didn't expect because every time I've fished here I've had nothing but codlin. But I'm hoping that I'm here now and I get the target species. Let's find out. So here goes the first bait. I'm going to chuck it a little bit further because, like I say, I'm miles away from the low tide line. Just give it a little bit of a flick. That'll do it. Not a massive chuck, just a little bit further than the overhead thump. Straight into the kelp. Should be plenty of depth of water there as well, with it still being 3 hours before low tide. And now it's a waiting game. Hey, so I'm sorry if today's video has been a little bit boring compared to some previous videos. I just haven't had that excitement in us, you know, the day's been a little bit all over the place. Obviously I've done everything backwards as well. I've started at high water and then had to wait around for ages to get onto the low water mark. But it was the only opportunity I had to get out because of obviously work and family commitments. So it is what it is. I'm trying my best. I'm out here and one of these days, hopefully shortly, I'm going to get that better red Summer Cod for you and put it in front of the camera, which is nuts by the way, because by this time last year and every other year that I've ever fished in the summer, I've had multiple fish that have been over sort of the 4 pound mark by now, no problem at all. But here we are. It's actually the 29th of July today, so it's Wednesday, the 29th of July. Tomorrow's Thursday, the 30th of July. By the time this video out, probably be about Sunday, because I need to obviously edit it and stuff. But yeah, end of July, early August, and still not seeing any decent stamp of codlins in the kelp, which is very, very concerning, especially from my previous experience and looking across the board at all of the club results, and also looking across the board at other pleasure anglers that are going on the rocks and fishing. Doesn't seem to be any decent codlins there at all. I must say that my mate Stewie Hurd, who some of you might know, he owns Sea Level, which I wear some of the clothing because it's really good stuff. He had a nice fish in his club match last week. I think it was just under 5 pound. Can't remember exactly how heavy it was, which is one of the better fish that I've heard of all summer so far. So well done to you, Stu, for winkling that one out, mate. It's just a shame that they're few and far between. I've got no doubt in my mind that they'll come on, but the point is, you know, if they come on, let's say in 2 weeks' time, a few better fish start showing in the kelp. The point is like by then it's middle of August and you've lost out the whole of July and the first half of August as well, when you should have been into them sorts of fish. So the windows of opportunity are just getting shorter and shorter, and that's the same with the winter fishing as well. It seems to be like, you know, 10 years ago we were going on the beaches, Whitley Beach and stuff like that, start of September, Lynmouth Beach, start of September. As soon as you got a sea on and you were getting bags of codlins, no end. Decent ones as well, you know, 3, 4 and 5 pound mixed in with them. and you are getting back to the car, middle of September, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and it's 5 degrees and there's frost on the windscreen. I mean, now you're looking at September. End of September can still be 15, 18 degrees, you know. We're not getting the cold snaps. And then the proper winter cod don't really start running through now until sort of like, I mean, the earliest like October if you get the conditions, but the past couple of years it seems to have been like mid-October, and then bosh, by the time it gets into January it's finished. Whereas, you know, same again, 10, 12 years ago, we were getting fish all the way through until the end of March. You would have a couple of weeks where it was quiet, and the older fellas will know better than me, because in March and April, when the peeler crab used to start, you'd have your spring run as well, so the cod literally sort of vanished off the spawn, and a few weeks later, once the crabs started peeling, the temperatures warmed up, the codlins will come back through again. Not in obviously as great numbers as what you would get in the winter months, but still good enough to go out fishing for. But we'll find ourselves here now, 2026, fishing all summer for a couple of 2-pounders. What a shame, man. What a shame. But as I said earlier on, it's not all about massive fish and loads of them. It's about getting out, trying and seeing what happens, enjoying the fresh air and putting your mind to fishing, you know. As much as the catching fish is nice, it does come every now and then. You can have some good sessions still, as hard as it is. So yeah. Anyways, first chuck there, just had a little knock. So I'll bring you back, hopefully, when it starts to progress. Right, first chuck over and done with. A couple of small little rattles, and that's it. So get it in, try again. Think you might be lying on, unless it's a crab or a lobster. Definitely weight there though. Yeah, it's a fish. Good start, first chuck. Right, small codlin, first chuck on here, so that's promising. Just been lying on. God, I wish it would just be a bit bigger, like. I'm not going to complain about catching fish, but there's a lot of small fish about, like. Anyway, get this chap unhooked, get him slipped back, get this next bait on. Right, same again. Hopefully we can multiply the fish size by 6. Right, tell you what, there's a much better depth of water there, like. Not that it makes a massive difference, but sometimes, you know, having that little bit extra depth of water sometimes just holds a few extra fish. Sometimes, I said, not all the time. Don't be put off by shallow marks. I've repositioned the rod and the tripod. This is still the second chuck. I'm going to reel this one in now. I've had a couple of little taps again, but it's not really in the right place where I want it. So, to be honest, I am full of confidence. So third chuck, I'm going to put it across in exactly the same place where I usually put it on here when I usually get the fish. And if it is the right place, if that is actual thing and it's not just coincidence every time I get fish out of the same place, then with a bit of luck on my side, the North Sea will gift me something bigger, a bigger codlin. God, it's not much to ask for, is it? Right, let's go. So this one is like all the way sort of that way, and I need to be chucking that way. Or that's what I think anyway. Right. That one has been stripped to the bits. Look at that. It's just elastic left on the hook. That's not ideal, like, is it? Here comes the famous overhead thump. Whoa! Take the tripod with us. Unintentionally. So this is the cast that always works for us on here. Can it work again? Let's find out. Just nibbling away again. That's the bait that I chucked in the sweet spot, like, so hopefully I'm right. Just give it a little bit more time. Might just be mouthing around it at the minute. It's definitely a better bite though. I nearly jumped out my skin there. That was just a bird flying into my braid. Phew. I thought, wow, that's a bite we've been waiting for. Well, since that bird flew into the line, nothing else has happened, so either it's a small fish lying on or that bird flying into my braid spooked whatever I was biting, which isn't good. Never mind. Yeah, we've got a fish lying on. Again, just a small one by the feels of it, like, but I'll take whatever I can at the minute. Feels slightly bigger than the last one, but again, it's not a monster, so just gonna walk to the end of the rocks and grab this. Well, correct us if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that's the same fish that I caught on the last chuck, or a couple of chucks ago, the first fish that I had here. I'm sure it is. God almighty. Hey. There you go, another small codlin. Right. Time's starting to run out now, like. I think I've got 3 crab left. Well, 2, because there's one on the end of this hook, and then I've got 2 left in my bucket, and it's getting dusky as well, so with a bit of luck I'll get through these crab. I've got 3 more attempts, or 3 more chances at that bigger fish. It has to happen eventually, man. I've never had to try so hard to get a decent codlin. Biting away again. Slacklined us a little bit, that did, so promising. Yeah. This feels slightly better, judging by the bite. Like slow lunges. Usually an indication that it might be a little bit of a better fish, but until I hook it I won't know. Yeah, well, Couldn't have been more wrong. Another small codlin. That was quick, that though. That was only in the water for about 3 or 4 minutes. So it's obviously plenty of fish here. Like, it's just trying to get through these smaller ones. Well, it definitely gave me the wrong idea with that bite. It's a little bit bigger than the last two, slightly. Still small though. They might just touch 35 centimetres if you're lucky. But 3 fish in pretty short space of time. I've got 2 chucks left. Wouldn't be too bad to go out on 5 fish on a little session like. Right, get this one slipped back. And then get this second last chuck out. The way that was biting there, like the rod was going over dead slowly, like slow, prominent nods. I was adamant that that was going to be something a little bit better than what it was like. But never mind. Happy catching out me. Second last chuck. Well, it seems I was right about chucking in the correct place to get 2 fish in 2 chucks within like 5 minutes of each other. Whether there's like a hole there or a big kelp bed or something. Because that's where the pollock and the bass came out of as well. Right, I'm going to get my last bait prepped. Gutted. Absolutely gutted like. You know, when you come to a mountain, you know there's fish here and there's potential. And you run out of bait. But this is the situation with peacock crabs, so... Well, that's the last bait prepped. Just give you a look at it. That is the last supper. Still got that one out there new, and then I've got this one to chuck out. But once again, I hope everyone's enjoyed watching. It's been a little bit of a slower video, as much as I've had 5 codlins out up to now. I spent a lot of the day waiting around in between tides, moving marks and stuff like that. And again, false promises of getting a bigger codlin, but at least I'm trying. Once I get one, it won't just be a rare incident. Once they start showing the better stamp fish, you start getting them a little bit more consistently. It's just a case of waiting for them to turn up. And they're obviously still a little bit further offshore at the minute. Big tides this week. From tomorrow onwards, might move a few in, hopefully. It's the time of year now, like, so they've got to show eventually. But aye, if you have enjoyed watching, please make sure you subscribe. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos. And if you're not from the northeast of England and you're from somewhere else in the country, drop a comment so I know where you're watching from. It's nice to know where, you know, other people are located and stuff like that, and where the sort of audience is that I'm stretching to. And if you've got someone who you know who might enjoy our videos, then please share the link with them and tell them to give it a watch and subscribe as well. Just had a little rattle there, just caught it out the corner of my eye. So yeah, as I say, not going to bore you too much with all that patter, but it really helps the channel if you can subscribe. It costs nothing at all, free of charge. You'll get a notification every time I put a video out, and it just basically gives me more of an incentive to continue doing it. But yeah, I'll pop this on my tripod. We'll give this bait that's out another 5 minutes or so, unless I get a really good bite. And then the last supper I'll get put out. Right, so the light's starting to drop out pretty quick now. And I haven't got a headlight, so I'm going to whip this in. This has been out about 15 minutes, a couple of really small taps. And then I'll get this last bait on. With a bit of luck, I can sign off on a fish, even if it is small. I think I've got another small one line on this chuck as well. So that'll be 4 fish from here in 5 chucks. And 6 fish in total from the day. Just a shame that I'll smile. Another small codlin. They're all pretty much identical, like same colour as well. None of them are red, they're like a brownie type colour. Get this one took off the hook and get that last chuck out. Right, here we're gone. The last supper. Hopefully it's a case of save the best till last, eh? Well, I'm going to have to sign off the session on a fish, aren't I? I can't just catch 4 fish in 5 chucks and then not get one on the last chuck. Is it 4? Or was that my 5th? I can't even remember how many fish I've had on here. I don't know if it's 4 or 5. But yeah, I think it's 4. 4 on here, 2 on the other mark. I'm going to get my gear packed away, let that one sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then by the time that's done, that light should be nearly gone and I'll be off skis. That's had about 15 minutes and don't know if you can tell by the camera but it's starting to get pretty dark. So I'm going to get it in and I'm going to make tracks before I kind of see me way off the rocks, because that would be pretty stupid, wouldn't it? So before I go, let's see if there's anything on this. I had a couple of little bites, but I don't think there'll be anything on here Nah, nothing on there. So it wasn't meant to be again for the elusive bigger summer red codlin, but I will get it for yous. I promise that. When, I don't know. Obviously it'll have to be in the summer. It will be this summer though. We'll get one. Hopefully over 4 poundish. I mean, that is easily 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, but if it's over 4 pound, I'll be happy. And yeah, thanks for watching again, guys. Until the next one, tight lines, keep fishing, keep trying, and keep getting out there. I'll see you on the next one.